Before I get to this piece of crap, I'm going to get to, as a bonus, as it says in the title, if I remember to put it in the title, I'm going to get to this lesser piece of crap. This is Dynasty. This one, as you can see, it says it right here if you don't believe me. That's Psycho Circus. I'm not going to talk about this. I just want to open it up. I did an episode talking about Dynasty a couple of months ago. I found a very used copy of Dynasty at El Chopo a couple of months ago, and listened to it, talked about it, and I said at the time that I wanted to get a new copy of it because I really want that poster so I can look at it and then put it back in here, never to be seen again. But I do want the poster, so and this was unavailable or just too expensive on Amazon. And then, as I've mentioned before, sometimes albums just appear out of nowhere or the price drops by 50% or more. And I grab them when I can. So I got Dynasty the other day, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I do want to open it briefly. And whoops, let me put it down. I sometimes forget to deploy the blade of my knife, which is very amateurish because now I have to meddle around with it. So I'll open Dynasty and show the delicious poster. And there's no hype sticker actually on either of these. These are, I guess, part of the 2014 reissues, the Kiss vinyl reissues. I should be careful with that around my ear. But no hype sticker. All the other ones I've did, they had a hype sticker down here. I don't care. I'm just pointing that out. By the way, I'm testing a mic today. I used this mic 6 months ago, a year ago maybe. And because, you know, when I do normally I just use the microphone from my camera, and I'm standing like 1.5 meters away from it, and I have to yell. And often, you know, there's a lot of ambient noise, or it's just not good sounding. But when I tried this before, I thought the sound was not very good quality. But hey, I'm trying again. Which do you prefer? If you go back, maybe Mike Pratt and maybe Kirk, maybe Dallas, maybe Ernesto. A few of you are very loyal, and maybe I will be able to hear if you're an audiophile like me, because that's a lot of these hype stickers say that I'm an audiophile. That means I'm very discerning in my audio tastes. Which do you like better? Do you like this external mic or just the camera mic that ruins my voice, my delicate, fragile voice because I have to yell? I've already talked too long. So I'll open Dynasty now and show the poster, which I'm sure it has because it feels thick and a little bit heavier than if it were just a regular record. And it does have the poster, and I remember that too. I remember that very well. And you know what? I remember. You know what? I just remembered. I had a picture of this poster in my bedroom when I was like a teenager. I should have found that picture and used it as a prop for this video. All right, here's the poster. I'm excited. I haven't seen this poster in long time. And there it is. And it might maybe be a long time before I see it again. Isn't that great? Isn't that glorious? It's just a reminder of my youth. I got this record when I was 9 or 10, probably 10 years old. And let me take a look at this again. Look at this. That's fantastic, no? All right. Remember folding those old road maps? Once you unfolded it, you would never get the fucking thing back the way it's supposed to be. Or a sleeping bag, I got that fairly easy. A sleeping bag, you can never get it rolled up properly. So that's it for Dynasty. I'll put this away now. And now I'm going to focus on Psycho Circus. Or maybe I should call it, for the sake of this episode, should it be Sucko Circus, or should it be Psycho Suckus or something like that? This album fucking sucks. It's horrible. It's extremely shitty. It sucks. It also blows. Whichever of those terms you prefer to talk about something that is of very subpar quality, that's the one I would use. I like them both. Sucks and blows. That's what this record is. It's garbage. I hate it. When I did my official, remember my rankings were official. When I did the official Kiss rankings last year, I had this. There were 24. That was the 20 studio albums that I included, the 4 1978 albums. Peter Criss's is, and probably always will be at the bottom of that list, or any list when it comes to trash music. That was 24. Psycho Circus, I can't remember. I didn't check. Either this or The Elder, music from The Elder, as was number 23. I'm not sure, but this is horrible. I would on a scale of, I would rank this somewhere in between a scale of shit and fucking shit. That's where I would put this horrendous album. And I'll explain why. I hope I can explain why. I hope I can articulate this before I get to the track by track. I think the track by track is going to be pretty short. This was just such a huge, massive disappointment. For me, it's not so much about is the music good or not. I kind of have to weigh my expectations too. At the time when, for example, Dynasty came out, or Unmasked, I was 9, 10 years old. And if you know any 9 or 10-year-old kids, they're pretty fucking stupid. And I was one too. And so I didn't have any expectations when I was 9 or 10 years old for Dynasty or Unmasked. Maybe if I had been a smart teenager later or an adult, I would have had expectations and thought Unmasked and Dynasty also sucked, like Sucko Circus. But this album came out when I was 28 years old, and I had been a Kiss fan for 26 years, I guess, at that point, and I had high expectations. And once again, Kiss just dropped the ball. Kiss really, it's kind of strange. You all know how much I love Kiss. The four of you that watch these videos faithfully, and I thank you. You know how much I love Kiss. And but I mean, God, for a band that I love them so much, they've had a lot of missteps. I'm not just talking about musically. They seem to always do the wrong thing. This is the opposite of Metallica. When I talked about the 72 Seasons record in April or whenever that album came out, I said Metallica, I would make a stronger argument for being my favorite band ever, even more than Kiss. Not just for their music, but they always do everything right. Metallica just has great ideas. I don't know if that's the band or management or the record company or what it is, but Kiss, I mean, just randomly, they had, in the, when was it, the early 2000s or whenever it was, they had this partnership. They had the LA Kiss football team. It wasn't an NFL team. It was an arena football league team. Everything was B-League with them. When they had the wrestler, it wasn't with WWF. It was with WCW. Everything is, a lot of things are second rate with Kiss. And they just, I don't know, they just seem to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of Kiss stuff, God, as much as I love them, and it kind of pains me to say this, they look second rate a lot of times. So for this album, now it was a great, maybe the best period to be a Kiss fan, maybe other than the 70s when I was a Kiss fan, but I was too young to know how good it was maybe 94 to 97, around there. They were kind of free agents. They did maybe even 92, because Revenge was excellent. I talked about Revenge 4 or 5 months ago, whatever it was. And I mostly love Revenge. And then riding that, they were kind of free agents. In 94, 95, they did the convention tour, which I went to, and I saw their acoustic show where they, in a hotel, a hotel conference room or whatever you call it. Oh my God, I just enjoyed that show so much. Then they did Unplugged, which was incredible. The reunion tour, which was incredible. And Kiss was riding so high. And then this album came out and everything went right back down. They just completely fucked everything up. Maybe starting with the reunion tour. And that was such a great time. I saw that tour 3 times and I loved it. The first show I saw in Toronto in August, I think it was August 27th or August 28th. It was 1996 for sure. Was one of the happiest and most memorable moments of my life, that I finally saw the original Kiss lineup all together. That was, I maybe even cried at that show. And this is not really related to Psycho Circus. I'm going off in different directions here. Why didn't they release a live 4 from the reunion tour? They were at that point the hottest band in the world. The reunion tour was huge. Everybody was back into Kiss, and they didn't do a live album from that. Later they did that stupid the Millennium version from 2000 or whatever it was. Maybe because they had done a live 3 only 3 years earlier. 93 was when a live 3 came out. I don't know, but yeah, just Kiss. They're always doing the wrong thing. So when this album came out in 98. I had very, very high expectations. I was still high from the reunion tour and maybe even going back to the convention tour and everything. And then they put out this album. the original four, the first record with the original four since, I guess they billed it as since Unmasked, which Peter Criss didn't play on. You could say Dynasty, which Peter Criss played on one song. You have to really go back to Love Gun, that was, really the original Kiss. And it's just, maybe my expectations were too high. And I listened to this yesterday and today. I should say I endured this album. I didn't listen to it yesterday and today. I endured it. And it's just not very good. It seems to me like and I hate it when people say this, because how do you know what a band was thinking? But it seemed like they were just trying. It's like they said, okay, we're going to write 5 anthems, and we're going to give Ace a song, and we're going to give Peter a song. And then we've got a couple of other songs that really don't belong in this album, but we need to fill it out. We need 10 songs. So we're going to put those on there. And to me, this album is just very cheesy. It's just such a blatant attempt, and I'll talk about this when I go through track by track, such a blatant attempt at trying to give people what they thought they wanted. Did I explain that right? And Kiss has been really, again, since Love Gun, they were always kind of chasing trends. When disco was big, they did Unmasked. And then they kind of continued that. Unmasked was a little bit disco poppy, something like that. Then they realized, oh, this is getting us nowhere. You know what? We want people to take us seriously, so let's do an album and call it Music from the Elder. And it'll be like a concept album. It's going to have a shitty album cover with a hand on a door knocker on it. And that flopped. And then they said, well, you know what? This is no good either. Let's get back to being, like a heavy metal band, a rock band. And they did Creatures of the Night, and people generally liked it. I mean, Kiss fans who were still around. But they lost so many people with The Elder and Unmasked and Dynasty that Creatures of the Night went largely unnoticed. Lick It Up. So then they said, okay, we need to take off the makeup. And then they did Lick It Up, which was, again, kind of in the vein of Creatures of the Night. It was a hard rock, metal, whatever you want to call it, record. Animalize, a little bit, kind of in the same vein. And then by the time Asylum came out in 85, Asylum, Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade, they were a hair metal band, cock rock, pop metal, glam, whatever you want to call it. Very, very poppy, very kind of safe, sterile music. And people, I guess, got sick of that. Then they went back kind of to the rock thing with Revenge, all black leather and kind of a tougher sound. And then Carnival of Souls, which came out after the reunion tour, years after it was recorded, I know some people say it was a grunge album, and I don't agree with that at all, but it was darker, heavier. And then Psycho Circus was kind of going back to the Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade, kind of an anthemic album. Just horrible. They never knew what to do. Never knew. And Gene said, not publicly, but years later came out that he said around the time of Carnival of Souls, he wanted to be like Billy Corgan and things like that. And what a shame it is that somebody like Gene Simmons, who had been around for so long at that point, wanted to be like somebody like Billy Corgan in 1995 or 96. So that's Psycho Circus. Drop a comment in the comment section below and tell me what you think. I know Mike Pratt, I think he loves this album. Mike, I'm disappointed in some of your choices, but that's okay. This album is awful. So I'll get to it. And then, of course, oh my God, maybe the most egregious part about this was that it wasn't even the real lineup. And I think at the time, this was, it came out in 98 or 99 or something. And around then, the internet was still very, very new. And I can't remember. I don't know if I have the timeline right. I don't know if I kind of knew if there were rumors at the time that it wasn't Ace and Peter that played on it, or their contributions were very, very minimal, or if that came out much later. But even at the time this came out, I was just so disappointed. And from what I remember, maybe I listened to this whole record twice when it came out. And these two times that I endured it, today and yesterday, was the first time I've listened, heard a couple of songs unwittingly. Is that the word? I didn't choose to hear them over the years. And there was one song that I do like, that I listened to quite a few times over the years. But this was the first time I had listened to this album in decades. And I don't know if my opinion has changed, but at the time I thought this album was not that good. And then later found out, oh, well, Peter and Ace didn't play on it. And maybe that shouldn't make a difference. But it just bugs me. Kiss was always, pulling the wool over people's eyes. And I think it especially bothered me at that point in the internet era. This was late 90s when you couldn't really hide things like this. That I don't even know. I think a guy called Kevin Valentine played drums. I think Bruce Kulick played a lot of guitar. I think he played bass too. This album is just a mishmash, similar to, I guess, Dynasty and Unmasked and Creatures of the Night. It wasn't even really a Kiss record. Even if I didn't know that, even if it was the four guys and the music was the same, I think I still wouldn't like it. But that extra thing, about the original guys not playing on it, again, Kiss really fucked that up. And that really turned me off. Kiss is always, always trying to fool us. And at that time, I had kind of had enough. So I kind of had a bad attitude about this record, and still do, if you can't tell. And now I'm going to open it up. And also, now this cover for the record, but if you're wondering why I bought it, it's just because I do, at some point, I would like to get all the Kiss records, even though I never had this, I only had the CD. This is a little bit of a different album cover. When I had the CD when it first came out, it was like a 3D. I guess it was maybe too expensive to reproduce the 3D cover. I think it was the same cover, but just without the, if you moved it, sorry, not 3D, like a hologram cover. The curtain opened up, something like that. So I don't really like this cover. I don't know, they look weird. These caricatures, Gene and Paul, or Peter and Gene look especially strange. Paul looks okay, Ace looks okay, but I'm getting too deep into that. So I will open this now. I don't know what's going to be inside. I don't know if there's a poster. To be honest, I don't care too much. For me, the posters are more nostalgia. And since there was no poster, because I didn't have the record in 1998, I don't really care. Let's see. Oh, and I just see that here's the Dynasty. Another one that Damien swears, the Long Gone Loser rock show, that anything made in the Czech Republic is good. Records, I know about anything else. All right, so there it is, and there's the back cover. Let's see this. All right, this is fair. I think Creatures of the Night was like this, and Revenge. So it's just the cover and the lyrics. That's fine with me. Actually, I like that. That's great. Just don't give me the plain white or plain black sleeve. And the record, I guess, is just black. Yeah, there it is. All right. So getting to it now, track by track. Is there anything else in there? No. So the first song is Psycho Circus. That's not good. It's really not good. And I think they're still doing it. Even on this current tour, they've done it in recent tours anyway. This song is just such an obvious attempt at an arena anthem. It's basically saying we're back. It's about Kiss taking the stage. And I do remember the lyrics says, hello, here we are, here I am, here you are, here we are. God, maybe I don't remember. Here I am, here we are one. Oh, fuck. I've been waiting for this night to come. Get up. It's time for me to take my place. The makeup running down my face. The makeup running down my face. We're exiles from the human race. We're in the Psycho Circus. Just awful. The amplifiers start to hum. It's basically Kiss saying, look at us, we're a rock band, and we're back, and we're a rock band again. I really don't like the sound of this. Every song sounds a little bit different. The guitars on the title track, Psycho Circus, sound really thin. To me, it sounds like guitars from Crazy Night. It sounds like Hide Your Heart or something like that. In other words, shit. I've been waiting here to be your guide, so come. Reveal the secrets that you keep inside. Yeah, that song is not very good. And they somehow kind of made it into a modern day Kiss anthem. I don't know if people really like this song. Just because I don't, it doesn't mean that other people don't, but I just think it's not very good. The next song is Within. Now, this is the one song back then and even now that I listen to it. It's for sure my favorite, although it's maybe a little bit of a misnomer to call it a favorite, because, you know, it's like picking a piece of flour out of a piece of dog shit or something. There's not much to choose from. But if I had to pick one, I would say Within. Totally doesn't fit the feel of this album. It clearly sounds like it was something that was left over. I'm not sure of the timeline. Something that was left over from Revenge or even Carnival of Souls. It's a little bit heavier. It's a Gene song, of course. It's a little bit darker, heavier. I like it a lot. And when I say leftover, I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just sounds like it would have fit better on Revenge or Carnival of Souls. But it's got a good Gene vocal. The verses, they're not that great. A little bit quiet, but then the verses are great. I want to see you within, whatever it is. I would say that's really the only song I'm going to have anything positive to say is Within. Next is, oh fuck, this just gets fucking worse. God, Jesus Christ. I pledge allegiance to the state of rock and roll. Give me a fucking break. Clearly an attempt. This is like, hey, we're going to do Rock and Roll Night again. Shout it out loud. I love it loud. We're going to give you a Kiss anthem. And it's going to be really, really cheesy and ham-handed or ham-fisted. I'm not sure how you say that expression. And I should say one good thing about this album in general. They all sound great vocally. Peter Criss sounds amazing. His song fucking sucks, which I'll get to shortly. Ace sounds good. Gene and Paul, they all sound great vocally. Just the songs fucking suck. And I do I like the vocal melody of this. I pledge allegiance to the state of rock and roll. What a horrible, stupid song title. Looking back, I feel all right, getting more than my expectations. They sounded like a hair metal band again here. They sounded like Poison or Def Leppard or Bon Jovi, something like that. And this is the song where Paul Stanley says, I've been a rebel for all my life. I've been a rebel for all my life. The guy at this point was 40, I don't know, well into his 40s, and actually that shouldn't matter his age. But no, Paul Stanley of Kiss, you are not a rebel. You're a rich millionaire, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not begrudging him for being rich, but you're not a rebel. And just like you sang on that song Freak on Monster, God, what a stupid song that is too. I have streaks in my hair. People stop and stare. I'm a freak. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Paul Stanley of Kiss. Next is Into the Void. This is an Ace song. This is pretty good. I mean, they gave Ace a token song. I don't know who wrote this song. Ace, and it's credit to Cochran. I'm not sure who Cochran is. That's a pretty good song. I think generally Ace's songs were kind of token. They maybe, actually no, I liked the songs on Unmasked. But yeah, Into the Void, compared to the rest of this dog shit, it may as well be Shock Me. Make me feel better. Next is We Are One. Shit song. Hated it then. I realized when I listened to it today and yesterday why I hated it. I think it's just so weird. It just sounds, this came out a couple years before Asshole. Gene Simmons had a solo album called Asshole. I think We Are One would have fit pretty well on Asshole, because Asshole was kind of different and wasn't, didn't generally sound like a Kiss album. I think We Are One is like that too. If Gene had put this on Asshole, within the context of the album, We Are One would have sounded better. As it stands now, shit, We Are One. Next is, so that would be 1, 2, 3. That would have been the end of side 1, right? Yeah, We Are One is the last song. And this gets fucking worse when you turn over, because the next song is called You Wanted the Best. It's got a drum intro. It sounds just so weak and just, it sounds like a demo or something. And then Gene's his bass in there. And it's basically saying, hey, we're Kiss. And you know what? For years, we've started our concerts with a guy saying, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. So let's write a song called You Wanted the Best. Oh my God, and you know what? If all 4 of us sing, it's going to be even better. It's going to be our our next rock and roll all night, or it's going to be Shout It Out Loud, or I Love It Loud, or whatever those other anthems are that I talked about. And it's just so, to me, just so forced. So it's like they sat down and said all those things. This song, take your choice, sucks or blows. Just the vocals or the lyrics are fucking awful. Let's make up or break up. Oh, because they wear makeup. Yes. I guess this is supposed to be words that people are saying to them. Like this is how Kiss responds to critics. Make up or break up because we've seen better days. I guess like critics are saying Kiss should make up or break up because they've seen better days. They'll have to drag you kicking and screaming off the stage. Don't you do me favors. Don't show your face. Don't tell me what to play. It's not your place. Ooh, they're tough. Don't tell me what to play. It's not your place. Oh my God, this is fucking cringeworthy shit. The fans wanted us to play. We hear and we obey. You wanted the best and you got the best. That's the chorus. And then back to the, I guess the critics speaking. Don't give us glances. Don't give me sighs. Well then, don't give me sweet talk, Pete. This is when Gene introducing that, hey, Peter Criss is going to sing the next verse or the next line. Pete just testify, and then Peter Criss sings, hey, you live in fairy tales. You're just a fallen star. And then Paul Stanley sings, right. And who died and made you king? Just who do you think you are? Paul Stanley getting rough. Everything's gotten way out of hand, but your wish is our command. Fuck off. You wanted the best and you got the best. Shit. Garbage. Next is Raise Your Glasses. And this is another very anthemic song. This is what, 3, 4? Psycho Circus, I pledge allegiance to the state of rock and roll. I really can't say that with a straight face. You Wanted the Best is maybe the worst of them. And Raise Your Glasses is another anthemic one. I have nothing to say about that. Now the next one, this is maybe the worst song on the album. I Finally Found My Way. It's a Paul Stanley written song. Peter Criss sings it, which makes me think that Paul Stanley thought, this is not that good. I don't want to sing this one. I don't think it's that good. Hey, Peter, here you go. It's like they're giving Peter Criss the crumbs or the leftovers. And Peter Criss sounds good singing it, but it's the token Peter Criss song. It's the token ballad of the record. It's, I guess they were thinking Beth Part 2, just like Psycho Circus. I pledge allegiance to the state of rock and roll. You Wanted the Best and Raise Your Glasses were the rock and roll all night and Shout Out Loud. Modern versions, I guess I Finally Found My Way was the modern Beth. And I don't know if I remember, if I thought this at the time when I listened to this today and yesterday, the beginning, just the first few seconds of that song remind me of Always by Bon Jovi. And I like that song. I have no problem really with Bon Jovi. But I think Always is a good song. And just for a few seconds, I finally found my way to you. Sounds like that. That's not good or bad. That's just what I think. That song, guess what? It sucks. And then the next song is Dreamin'. Now this was Paul Stanley and Bruce Kulick who wrote this. This is one of the ones I think similar to Within. It sounds like it could have been on Revenge or Carnival of Souls. And it's not, I guess I can't say this is a bad song. It just seems so out of place on this record. You can just tell that, again, maybe it's like a retro bias that Peter Criss and Ace Frehley didn't play on it, and maybe that doesn't even matter. But this is just kind of it's just kind of an extra song they had laying around, and they wanted to put it somewhere, so it's here. And maybe just the fact, psychologically that it's written by Paul Stanley and Bruce Kulick makes me dismiss it. Whereas if it had been just like Within, if it had been on God, I can never think of the names of the records, Revenge or Carnival of Souls, maybe I would have liked it more. And then the last song is Journey of 1,000 Years. The song is a 0 to me. It's not shit like the other ones, but it's just, there was nothing about it that caught my attention. for me, it's not catchy. It's just kind of a mid-tempo. It's not a ballad. It's not a rocker. It's not a classic, it's not a God of Thunder or Unholy or something like that, Gene song. It's just a song. That's all it is. And then there was a bonus, not on here. That was the 10th song. There was a bonus song from this called In Your Face, which Ace sings. I think it's a Gene song, but Ace sings it, that I really don't remember anything about. I remember, if I don't remember anything, it's probably just because I didn't like it. So there it is. This album is tremendously bad. That's what I think. Maybe I would have to listen to The Elder to see officially if this should be one spot above The Elder or one spot below The Elder. But that is all I have to say about this album. Sucko Circus or Psycho Suckus, whatever you want to call it. That's what this fucking stinker is. Yes.